So now that you know that it's time to get some help, who do you turn to? We'll be talking about that in today's video. Hi, I'm Daniel, and this is Journey to Wellness. And here on this channel, I talk about ADHD and what it looks like in an adult. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on one of my videos. So last video, we talked about when it's time to get help. When do you know it's time to get help? But today we're talking about who do you see? Where do you go to get that help? So perhaps the best place to start is if you have a family doctor, talk to them. They may or may not be familiar with mental conditions and emotional conditions, but if they aren't, they at least have connections to point you to. They can make referrals to the right types of people that can get you the real help that you need. Now, my doctor is a good man. He's a good doctor. But he's not too familiar with emotional and mental conditions. He's very, more on the physical side. So when I made the appointment, I talked to the receptionist, and they asked, of course, what do you want to see the doctor for? And I just told her that I've been feeling extremely sad, depressed, and that I feel like I need to talk to somebody. And so she put me on the schedule, and I was able to see my doctor in like a week or so, or a week or two. And so he's going to ask you questions about how you've been feeling, how long you've been feeling it, things of that nature. And then he wrote me a prescription right away for a very low dose of sertraline, which is, I believe, Zoloft. I think it is. But a low dosage of that, see how it does. But he also made an appointment for me to see a therapist. Now, at first I wasn't too sure about the medication because, there's a lot of stigma around taking medication, which I think is really stupid. But I'll get into that in another video. So we set up an appointment to talk to a therapist. And a lot of the therapists, they're an MFT, marriage and family therapist, and they deal with generalized emotional issues. So things like anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, a lot of the common mental disorders or emotional disorders. They're very well versed in, and essentially it's just talk therapy. So you're going to go and talk to somebody about the problems that you're having, and they have various techniques and things like that they can help walk you through to where you're, set you on a path to feeling better. It's starting to rain more. I thought I could make through the video without it raining on me really hard. Taking shelter under a tree right now. We shall weather out this storm. All right. Now, one of the other things about going on the medication, I do remember feeling better right after taking it. And I still to this day don't know if it was the medication or if it was a placebo effect. The fact that I am taking medication that's supposed to make me feel better, so therefore I start feeling better. I'm kind of leaning more towards the placebo effect for a couple reasons. First of all, it was such a low dose. It was, I think, 25 milligrams, which, a decent dose is over 100. But the second reason I think that it was a placebo effect for me was that the classification of drug that it is, it's called an SSRI, or selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. But essentially, it just changes some of the chemical pathways in your brain to help it function better. The thing is with an SSRI is that they take a couple weeks for them to build up in your system. They're not fast acting. So that's why I'm also leaning towards the fact that the reason I was feeling better was just hope and optimism that I was making a change in my life, which kind of points towards a different type of depression. Not so much a clinical depression, but not as deep as a clinical depression, but kind of a lighter form of depression. My mood, in other words, my mood could be altered by my environment and what's happening to me. And so that was my experience finally taking the first step of getting the help that I needed, that I desperately needed. Now, in the next video, I'm going to tell you about my experience meeting my therapist for the first time. But that's it for now, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Until next time, be well.